In the heart of ancient West Africa, long before the map of Nigeria was ever drawn, two great kingdoms flourished under the sun. In the south, nestled among lush forests, was the sacred kingdom of Ife. This was a land of deep wisdom, art, and spiritual beginnings. Its people believed it was the place where life itself began, a cradle of humanity. The air in Ife was filled with stories of the gods, and its streets were lined with magnificent sculptures in bronze and terracotta. It was a kingdom built on tradition, respect for the elders, and a profound connection to the spiritual world. The people of Ife looked to their leader for guidance, not just in matters of the land, but in matters of the soul as well. Far to the north, across vast savanna plains, stood the powerful kingdom of Zazzau. This was a land of immense strength, courage, and ambition. Zazzau was known for its formidable warriors and its strategic position along major trade routes that crossed the Sahara Desert. Its markets buzzed with merchants from distant lands, bringing with them exotic goods, new ideas, and incredible wealth. The people of Zazzau were proud and resilient, known for their skill in warfare and their determination to expand their influence. They built towering walls around their cities, not just for protection, but as a bold statement of their power and their unbreakable spirit. Ruling over the sacred kingdom of Ife was the wise and revered King Oduduwa. He was considered the father of his people, a leader sent by the heavens to establish civilization. Oduduwa was not a king who ruled with an iron fist, but with a gentle hand and a mind as deep as the oldest rivers. His words were like seeds that grew into trees of knowledge, and his decisions brought harmony and prosperity to his land. The people of Ife saw him as more than a king. He was their patriarch, the very root of their family tree, and the keeper of their most sacred traditions and history. In the mighty kingdom of Zazzau, a different kind of leader reigned, the warrior Queen Amina. She was a woman of legendary courage and tactical genius, a true lioness on the battlefield. From a young age, Amina chose to learn the art of war instead of the traditional duties of a princess. She led her armies herself, riding at the front of her cavalry with a sword in her hand and fire in her eyes. Her reign was marked by conquest and expansion as she built a vast empire for her people. Queen Amina was a symbol of strength and empowerment, proving that true leadership knows no gender, only courage and vision. King Oduduwa's greatness was rooted in his incredible wisdom. He brought order and enlightenment to Ife, teaching his people the arts of governance, agriculture, and spiritual reverence. He established a system of laws based on fairness and justice, ensuring that everyone, from the highest chief to the humblest farmer, was treated with respect. Oduduwa understood that a kingdom's true strength came not from its armies, but from the unity and well-being of its people. He encouraged the creation of breathtaking art, believing that beauty could uplift the human spirit. Under his rule, Ife became a beacon of culture and philosophy, a place where people came to seek knowledge and find peace. Queen Amina's legend, on the other hand, was forged in the heat of battle and the dust of the open plains. Her bravery was unmatched, and her story was told in awe across the continent. She was a master military strategist who personally led her soldiers into countless victorious campaigns. Amina did not just conquer lands, she connected them. She commanded her people to build great earthen walls around her cities and the camps she established, creating a network of fortifications that secured her vast territory. These walls, some of which can still be seen today, are a testament to her strategic mind and her desire to protect her people and their prosperity from any potential threat. The people of Ife adored their king for the peace he cultivated. They lived without fear of internal conflict, their days filled with farming, crafting, and celebrating their rich culture. Oduduwa taught them how to read the seasons, how to honor the earth, and how to live in harmony with the gods. His legacy was one of creation and preservation. He established the Yoruba dynasty, a line of kings that would continue for centuries, each one carrying the responsibility of upholding the traditions he had set. Oduduwa's name became synonymous with origin, wisdom, and the very identity of his people, a guiding light for all generations. In Zazzau, the people respected Queen Amina for the strength and security she provided. She expanded her kingdom's borders further than any ruler before her, ensuring that Zazzau controlled the most important trade routes. This brought immense wealth, allowing her kingdom to thrive. Her subjects saw her as a fierce protector, a mother who would fight any enemy to keep her children safe. Amina's legacy was one of power, independence, and fearless ambition. She inspired countless women to become leaders and warriors, showing them that their strength was a gift to be celebrated and used for the good of their community. Her story became a powerful symbol of female empowerment. A great crisis began to brew, one that neither wisdom nor strength alone could defeat. The mighty river that flowed between the southern forests and the northern plains, usually a source of life, grew angry. The rains that year were heavier than anyone could remember, falling without end for weeks. The river swelled, its waters turning from a calm blue to a churning muddy brown. It began to overflow its banks, its powerful currents creeping slowly but surely towards the lands of both If and Zazao. At first it was just a concern, a topic of worried whispers in the markets and fields as the water levels continued to rise. Soon, the whispers turned into cries of alarm. The relentless floodwaters swallowed entire farms in Ifa, washing away the yams and cassava that were meant to feed the people through the season. Sacred groves, places of quiet worship, were submerged under the murky tide. In the north, the flood threatened the trade routes that were the lifeblood of Zazao's economy. The rising water turned the plains into a treacherous swamp, making travel impossible and isolating Amina's kingdom from the rest of the world. The great river, once a giver of life, had become a destructive force that threatened to drown their civilizations and everything they had built. King Oduduwa gathered his wisest counselors. They spent days studying ancient scrolls and consulting the oracles, seeking a solution in their vast knowledge. They made offerings and prayed, but the river continued its relentless advance, its roar growing louder with each passing day. The king's heart was heavy as he saw the fear in his people's eyes. His wisdom, which had solved so many problems, seemed powerless against the raw fury of nature. He knew that this challenge was greater than anything his kingdom had ever faced, a test that their traditions alone might not be able to overcome, and time was running out. Meanwhile, Queen Amina prepared her people for war, but this was an enemy with no army and no commander. Her strong walls, built to stop invading soldiers, could not hold back the rising tide. Her brave warriors couldn't fight the water with their swords and spears. She watched as the foundation of her empire was slowly eroded, not by a rival kingdom, but by the very earth beneath her feet. Amina, a leader who had never backed down from a fight, felt a sense of helplessness. She realized that her courage and military might were not enough to save her people from the encroaching disaster that threatened to wash them all away. When messengers, bearing a white flag of truce, arrived in Ifa, they were brought before King Oduduwa. They spoke of Queen Amina's proposal, not for war, but for a council. Oduduwa, in his great wisdom, saw the truth in this. He understood that fighting each other would only make them weaker, leaving them both vulnerable to the river's wrath. He agreed to meet. The two leaders, one representing the soul of the south and the other the strength of the north, met on neutral ground, a hill overlooking the flooded valley. Instead of clashing swords, they shared their fears and acknowledged their shared predicament. It was a historic moment, a choice for unity over conflict. Together, they decided to call upon the one who understood the rivers best, the powerful river goddess Oya. She was known for her command over the winds, storms, and waters, a deity respected in both the north and the south. Oduduwa led the sacred rites, his voice chanting ancient prayers that spoke of respect for nature. Amina stood beside him, her presence a symbol of strength and sincerity, offering the river the respect of a warrior. They made a pact not only with each other, but with the river itself. They promised to honor its power and live in harmony with it, asking Oya to carry their message of peace and calm the raging waters that threatened their homes. As if hearing their plea, a great wind swept through the valley, and the rain began to soften. Slowly, miraculously, the river's violent churning subsided. The waters began to recede, pulling back from the farmlands of If and the trade routes of Zaza. The people from both kingdoms watched in amazement as the sun broke through the clouds for the first time in weeks. The pact had worked. The combined strength of Oduduwa's wisdom and Amina's courage, offered with humility and respect, had appeased the goddess and restored balance to the land. Their alliance had saved their people from certain doom. This legendary pact of unity became a story told for generations. The alliance between If and Zazao brought a new era of peace and cooperation. They shared knowledge, traded goods, and learned from each other's strengths. The tale of how the wise king and the warrior queen chose to work together became a foundational story for the future nation of Nigeria. It serves as a powerful reminder that unity is stronger than any division. Even today, the story of Oduduwa and Amina inspires Nigerians to look beyond their differences and work together, proving that when wisdom and courage join hands, there is no challenge they cannot overcome.